An inspiring film, how a teenager from Malawi built a windmill and saved his village from starvation. This story is based on real events. It transports the viewer to Malawi, a poor agricultural country in southern Africa.
The year is 2001.
At the center of the story is a teenager named William. He is not a superhero or a chosen one, just a boy who loves to tinker and read. He finds salvation not in a miracle, but in books, in an old school library. At the beginning of the film, we see him helping his father, Treville, harvest corn. It is hard, exhausting work, especially under the scorching sun. Then tragedy strikes. His uncle falls unconscious onto the dry, cracked ground. At the funeral, the priest says that now the deceased's children will continue his work.
In the village where William lives, people believe.
Not only in God, but also in rain and spirits. And then, in the middle of the memorial service, a group of shamans appears. They dance, sing, and ask for rain. William is different from them. He believes only in his own strength. At home, he takes apart a broken tape recorder. In the morning, he goes to school. Meanwhile, his father goes to the city for fertilizer. There, he accidentally stumbles upon a political demonstration. People are demanding change. On the way back, his father meets his wife and daughter. While they are loading baskets onto a bicycle, the teacher passes by. William's daughter has feelings for him, which does not escape her brother's attention. The teacher hurries to school. The principal is preparing for a solemn assembly. He talks about the importance of education and inspires his students. After class, William gives the teacher an envelope with money from his sister for tutoring. But at the same time, he learns some unpleasant news. His father has not paid for his education in full, and the boy may soon be expelled from school. Returning home, he helps his family again. In the rain, the three of them, father, son, and older brother, walk across a field, sticking sticks into the ground to prevent water from collecting. In the evening, William wants to prepare for his exam, but his mother won't let him light the lamp. They are running out of kerosene. The next day, he goes to the dump with his friend, the son of a local chief. They are looking for something useful, perhaps parts for his next invention. On the way back, they come across a tribal gathering. Representatives of a tobacco company offer the locals work, cutting down trees in exchange for money. But the chief is against it. He understands that destroying the forest will lead to flooding and the destruction of crops. However, the people are starving. One by one, they sign the contract, ignoring the chief. While the adults look helplessly at the sky in hope of rain, William doesn't waste any time. In his spare time, he makes bird traps, not for fun, but to trade the birds he catches for access to the local club, where children listen to the radio. But just before the football broadcast begins, the batteries run out. William rushes home in the rain, takes the batteries out of an old tape recorder, and using his school knowledge, quickly assembles a makeshift power source. He turns on the radio, and the first thing he hears is alarming news. Planes have crashed into the towers of the World Trade Center in the United States. But the boys aren't interested. They switch back to their game. They're not interested in politics. They want to have fun. On the way home, William and his friend witness his sister kissing the same teacher. The next day, his friend suggests taking revenge on the teacher by breaking his bike.
William refuses.
He just wants to take the flashlight off the bike so he can study in the evenings. And then he notices for the first time the dynamo that generates electricity from movement.
An idea is born in the boy's mind.
Meanwhile, at home, the adults discuss that there is no more money for his education. In the morning, he and other children from equally poor families are expelled from class. Meanwhile, his father wants to buy back the land that his brother once left him. The land that his nephew has already sold to a tobacco company. The purchase is the only chance to save the harvest. But no one is rushing to help. An old friend refuses. Meanwhile, the world is plunging into economic crisis. The terrorist attacks of September 11th shake African markets. The threat of famine becomes increasingly real. William continues to rummage through the dump, making batteries out of trash and desperately searching for even a drop of energy to charge them. To return to school, he puts on his uniform and goes to class. There he asks the teacher how a dynamo works. He wants to understand how to generate electricity. To do this, he needs books, but without a library card, he cannot get into the library. So he resorts to blackmail. He knows about the teacher and his sister and offers a deal. The teacher reluctantly agrees. Now William can come and read. Soon he finds a book that changes everything. It explains how to build a wind turbine. His plan takes shape. Meanwhile, in the village, everything goes on as usual. Distinguished guests gather for the president's inauguration. The tribal chief politely asks for help. But the president does not like to hear about problems. His speech is interrupted, and the guards take the old chief off the stage and beat him. Panic breaks out, shots are fired. People realize that if they want to survive, they will have to rely only on themselves. They even have to dismantle the roof. William's father removes the tin sheets and sells them. The government pretends that there is no famine, which angers the common people. While others hope for a miracle, William puts his plan into action. The situation in the village becomes increasingly desperate. People fight right outside the warehouse, hoping to get at least one sack of grain. At that moment, thieves break into William's house, where his mother, younger sister, and infant child are still living. They take the last of the supplies. After the robbery, they count the remaining money. It is only enough for one meal a day.
Tension in the family Gros.
When William is forbidden to feed a dog dying of hunger, he realizes that the situation is out of control. He then asks his sister to talk to the teacher. He urgently needs a dynamo, the heart of his future mill. His sister agrees to go with the teacher to the city, but first gives her brother the necessary part from her bicycle. William gathers the local teenagers and suggests they conduct an experiment, build a miniature windmill. It works. The tape recorder is powered by a homemade generator.
This small miracle inspire face.
The young people are inspired. They are ready to build a real device. William shows the model to his father and explains that he wants to connect the pump to the well and thus save the harvest and the entire village. But to do this, he needs his father's bicycle. The problem is that it is the family's only means of transportation. Troll does not believe in this idea. He is used to plowing the land, not messing around with toys. In a rage, he sends his son to work in the fields. Later, while gathering the necessary parts, William discovers that his beloved dog has died of starvation. He buries her in the field and cries. His father finds him there. They talk calmly, without shouting. The father realizes that he has nothing to lose and decides to trust his son and give him the bicycle.
The village comes to life.
The wind turns the blades, and the homemade windmill comes to life.
The camera circle around the boy standing on top.
Below, the villagers look up at him with hope. These are the same people who had almost lost hope. William climbs down and puts the battery on charge. The villagers have already begun to disperse. It seems that no miracle will happen. But suddenly, in the silence, the pump starts up with a characteristic hum. Water begins to flow down a long wooden gutter.
The DRY, crackers comes to life.
People rush to the field and start digging ditches, some already running for seeds. And the father, he just hugs his son. This embrace says it all: pride, gratitude, love. After a while, the first shoots appear. Greenery stretches upward above the beds. And at that moment, those who symbolized faith in the old customs, the shamans, leave the frame. They dissolve into the sunset, like a symbol of a passing era, giving way to knowledge, labor, and science. And William now has a new puppy and a new life. Representatives of the authorities come to visit him. They want to see the miracle mill. They offer him a scholarship and a transfer to a prestigious school.
The screen darkens.
A brief historical note appears. William Kamkwamba received a scholarship, graduated from a prestigious school and university, moved to the United States, and became an engineer. But his parents still live in the same village. And they always have light. Thanks to their son.